Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. Per request from one of my subscribers, Brandon. Brandon, how you doing? Brandon had two questions that he sent me via email. He wanted me to do a short video on these questions, and it reads like this: Mo, could you do a short video about songs that are in alternate tuning or in between keys? I think that would be interesting. I've never heard of it until last year. I asked you to tab Morning Dove by Canton Spirituals, and you said that it was between keys due to mastering. So I'm going to give you my take on that. And it's two questions, so I'm going to do the alternate tuning first. There's two reasons why people do alternate tuning. The first one is the singer perhaps cannot sing in this key, so they alter the key for the singer to sing in. And I notice a lot of rock guys do that a lot. They tune up and tune down, to accommodate the vocalist, and also to get these certain higher or lower notes. And the other reason is for it to be easier to play certain songs. Because I think I did a cover on Neil Young. I believe it was I forgot the name of that song. But in order to play the song like he played on the record, I had to alternate my tune. That's the only time I've ever done it, because I was so big fan of his in that particular song that I was like, I want to play it like he played it, and that's why the people do that. And if you ask my personal take on that, I look at it like this: I can write literally thousands of songs with the standard tuning and the way that things are standard. So for me to step outside that realm and do something different, I don't need to. I'm quite content with writing songs in standard tuning and having my guitar in standard tuning. But you got some other people, they want to do some experimental stuff. I'm not knocking. It's just I'm not a part of that group. It's a pain to me to be turning my guitar, tuning this E down to A and all that. I'm like, if I got to go through all that to play your song, I'm just going to play somebody else's tunes. But to each his own. So the other one is, why are these songs not in the key that you can play them in? And what happens sometimes is this, and I give you a quick example first. When you're just a listener of music, it's not a big deal when you got a turntable, because no two turntables spin as far as calibration exactly like another one. One is tad bit slower, one is tad bit faster, whatever. And just that slight variation of speed or slowing it down, it changes the key. And sometimes it's toned down just ever so slightly as far as the spin of the turntable. So now it's in between keys. So now you can play it along with the record because it's in between keys. And sometimes you pull on your favorite CD and it's like, this song I can't play. I'm playing the right chord, but it ain't jiving with what I hear. And what happens is in the mastering process, because what happens is you go into the studio and you record your tracks, 24 tracks, 64 tracks, whatever. And then it's called the mastering process, where they transfer all of those tracks onto stereo mastering, just left and right. Instead of 64, 24 tracks, individual tracks that you can alter and change and, do the frequency thing, toning it, as far as EQ and, EQing. So sometimes doing that process, it doesn't transfer over in the same exact speed. And sometimes it's quite noticeable that it's slower or it's a little faster. And sometimes it's somewhere in the middle of a key and you can't play it, because there are a couple of songs that I thought it was me at first. And when I got the sheet music, I had 4 different sheet music of the same song, and I'm playing it, and it's not matching up. And one of them is R. Kelly's Honey Love. Another one is Native New Yorker by Odyssey. That's notorious. I mean, you cannot play that song along with the record. Bobby Caldwell, What You Want to Do for Love. It's another one. You can play the live version along with the live version, but you can't play the studio version because the mastering is slower or faster. And you ask yourself, well, how does that happen? There are a lot of reasons why that happened, and the main reasons is people cutting corners. Because I could just give you an example. This is just an example. It's not etched in stone. the mastering price for one song, just say it's $1,000. But you find a guy say I can do it for $500, which is half of the standard price. So of course, in most cases, when you take the $500 deal, you're not gonna get the same quality and attention to detail as the $1,000 deal. You know, some people's budgets are kind of tight and say, I just can't afford all this, so let me just cut some corners where I think I can. And that's usually what happens. You take the deal, and it's not up to par with the standard deal, and this is what you get, because you get what you pay for. You know, it's hard to get around certain things without paying for the service, and it's tiring. You know, but you got some people that want to cut corners, because should I share this personal story? Yeah, I do that. I got a dear friend. He doesn't have a credit card. He said, could you order these shoes for me on your credit card and I pay you? So he gave me the cash. I put on my card. And when he got the shoes today, he complained that they were not leather like they claimed they were. And I got boots in the closet that 15 years old that are, you know, they of that quality. And I said to him, this is 2017. You know, so don't expect the quality of a 1975 shoe versus now, because now they're cutting corners. The bottled water that I buy, I noticed within the last year and a half, the plastic is much thinner. I can take my hand, just squeeze it, just squeeze it, 2 fingers. And they've cut back on the thickness of the plastic. Same thing with boxing tape, the clear stuff. I remember 5 years ago when it tears off and it comes off of the little the viter thing, or the thing that cuts it, and it falls back onto the roll. You could just take your hand and feel where it starts again. You just run around the seams of it and feel it. Now it's extremely hard to feel it because the paper or the tape is so damn thin now that it takes sometimes 5 minutes to box up something when it used to take about less than a minute. You know, so the quality of things today, you can't compare them to yesterday, you know, because things were made much better now. Now they looking at ways to cut corners on the product, but still charge you what they charge you. Because a lot of times they're just trying to keep afloat, because everything goes up. When one thing goes up, it triggers everything else, you know. So that's what happened with the mastering thing. It's just usually they cutting corners and you get what you pay for. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you, Brandon, and others. You know, like I said, me personally, I really don't subscribe to that changing my stream, tuning it up here and tuning it down there, because I'll say this to sign off. I'm in one of few bands, and one of the bands I'm like I am the only black guy, and we play a lot of Rolling Stone stuff. And we have another guitar player. I'm more or less the rhythm guy, and the other guy's kind of the lead / rhythm. And when we do these Rolling Stone songs, he have a Pacific guitar that he brings to the shows, and he takes the high E string off of it, and then he tunes it a certain way, because that's how apparently Keith Richards tunes his guitar and play and record their songs. So it's kind of interesting because it's like a lot of work. But, you know, when you're a big fan of a certain, you know, artist, I guess you will, you know, you do that. Because like I said, and I still can't remember the name of the song because I had to take it off because of copyright issues. It was a Neil Young song, Harvest Moon. I did an acoustic version of that, and I did the alternate tuning because I had to. You know, it's hard to play that song. Here's another reason why they do that too. Say, for instance, something you're working on or something you want to cover, these certain notes, and the notes are here, and then certain notes are way up here, so you got to do all this stuff. And a lot of times you can't get back and forth cleanly doing that, bouncing back and forth. So what you do is you alter the tuning of your guitar so these notes are much close proximity, so it's not that difficult. But I really don't want to do anything like that, because when it comes time to play it live, you got to bring the guitar that's in that weird tuning to do all that. So it's just easy for me personally just to stick with standard tuning, write in standard tuning, play in standard tuning. So I'm going to sign off now. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care.